We see that God's creation causes a serious distortion between the absolute truth of God and the relative truth of man, thereby fracturing the divine reality to create an unexplainable human illusion. Understanding this aspect of God's dual nature makes it easier to accept a person's lifetime of human failures, forcing mankind to continually confess its sins, repent, and be forgiven as it crawls out of an evil past to find eternal freedom comprised of peace, joy, and happiness. This means that humanity is like a wandering pilgrim on a quest to a promised land, where one day, the horrors of the past will become the foundation stones for a successful future. The truth is that present-day mankind represents the pioneer stock of the coming kingdom, as humanity learns the meaning behind a person's solemn vows, oaths, and sacred words of eternal commitment to God, angels, and men. We see that those who suffer as pioneers traveling along the pathway of perfection for Christ's sake will stand closest to the Lord when they come into His kingdom of glory at the end of time. The question arises, how does all this relate to the purpose of Israel and its bungled Jewish experiment of trying to fulfill God's divine law of obedience, which would allow the Jews to cover sins and obtain earthly righteousness? First of all, the Jewish heritage is one of God's most cherished treasures and is perfectly on schedule as it rushes toward its fulfillment on the day of its most perfect holiness. Then what happened? The fact is that nothing happened because the new kingdom will depict the theme of a dead people returning to life and joining forces with their exiled king of death to save all mankind. We see that together they will build the true promised land of milk and honey for the benefit of all future generations to bathe in the luxury of God's divine pleasure through their own divine holiness forevermore.